Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And guys, I am finally here to talk about the Mario Brothers 4K as well as the other January Umbrella titles. It took a long time to get here, it feels like. Yes, we're talking about January Umbrella titles. I've already talked about February Umbrella titles. I will be talking about March soon, and April stuff is on the way. Umbrella is usually a little late sending me stuff to cover on the channel, so that's why I run usually a couple month delay when it comes to Umbrella, which I'm not going to complain. I'm getting, review copies to showcase on the channel. But in particular with this slate, the Umbrella slate from January, I'm late doing this because we had a plan, me and some other content creators, to do a multi-channel unboxing of this Trust the Fungus edition, and we were waiting on one of the other content creators to get his set to do that. So I'm even more delayed with this set because of that, and because it was an unboxing together, all of us together, I couldn't watch this until we did that unboxing. Now I've watched it, I can talk about this release and review it for you guys on the channel. And there is, look, this edition is sold out currently, but there's another one on the way. It's called like the 1-Up edition. So the artwork and the packaging is a little bit different. I'll kind of showcase that on the screen right now. And I'm going to go ahead and take off this hat because I'm not a hat guy and I'm already getting hot in that hat. But anyway, so yeah, I'll link that down below in the description. And there's still like the regular editions are available as well. If you just want the slipcover editions of the Mario on 4K or the regular edition with no slipcover, I think the box set's still available, the smaller box set version as well. But there is a set like this coming. They're doing it again, but it's not going to be called the Trust the Fungus edition. It's going to be called the 1-Up edition, which I think is pretty smart because I think that makes the people that got this on the initial run feel special because they got the limited edition. It doesn't make them feel gypped that they had a limited run of an item and then they did a bunch of other ones because they sold out, which a lot of companies will do that. Instead, what Umbrella did, I think, is pretty smart. They did the limited run of the Trust the Fungus edition, and then they did another set that was like this, comparable to this, but they called it something different, which is also smart because it'll make people feel like they have to collect that too if they already have this in the collection. Just some people. I know most people will probably be fine with their Trust the Fungus edition, but there is another one on the way, and you can pre-order it now. I will leave that link down below, as I will leave links for everything that I talk about in today's video. But let's quit rambling, guys. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But before we get into all the unboxings, I do want to talk about the Super Mario Brothers 4K edition real quick. I did watch this 4K a couple of nights ago, and I want to talk about the movie itself from 1993. So I was the biggest Mario fan in the world. Who wasn't? What kid wasn't back if you grew up in the late 80s, early 90s? But I played all the games, the first one, the second one, the third one, Super Mario World. So by the time this movie came out, like, I loved Mario and I could not wait to see this. I remember the promotion. I think there was toys at like specific fast food restaurants. I feel like there was anyway. Maybe there wasn't, but I remember the trailers and just thinking to myself, oh my God, I cannot wait to see Mario Brothers in live action. It was a thing in the 90s to make these video games into live action form. They did it a couple years later with Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter, I think, was the year after this. So all these games they were trying to do in live action, and for the most part, I like Mortal Kombat a lot, but for the most part, they just didn't work. And it's because it's very hard to adapt a video game, especially a platformer game like Mario, to live action that doesn't really rely on much story to begin with in Mario. And there's not really too much to the character of Mario and Luigi. So I actually think that Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo did a good job in these roles. They could kind of make it their own because there's not enough character there to really mine from. So I think they do a good job, and they do feel like Mario and Luigi in this movie. So that is one positive thing I can say about the film. But I remember thinking to myself, because I think I either saw this in the theaters or in the drive-in. It was one of the two, but I might have saw it like twice. Maybe I saw it at the drive-in and the theaters. Because I remember liking the movie when I saw it, and I also remember thinking to myself, okay, this is weird, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like a Mario Worlds or Lands, or it just doesn't feel like the games. But at the same time, it's like, how else would they do it? Like, this has to be the best that they could possibly do for this movie. I remember thinking that to myself. And I still, like, watching it a couple of nights ago, I still kind of feel the same way. There's a lot of similarities between this and the new Mario Brothers movie that came out last year. They both get sucked into like alternate dimensions, and they're not saving Peach in the new one, but they're saving Daisy in this one. and they get sucked into that other worlds, and it's not the same story, but it just feels like the same kind of beginning, and then it kind of leads back into Brooklyn at the end. So they're kind of similar. It's just you don't have Donkey Kong in the middle of this movie. And there's just, it's a completely different story, but they feel similar in how they start. I don't know how else you would do this. Did they have to do like a cyberpunk type world, alternate dimension that kind of feels like Blade Runner? Probably not, but again, like, what else do you do? And I feel like it fits for the story that they were going for. It's a very sci-fi story. I like that, I remember being disappointed by Koopa when I was a kid. I was like, why is he not a dinosaur? Why is he a human? And Dennis Hopper plays a great, like, outlandish villain, and he was the villain of my childhood because he was the villain in this movie. He was the villain in Waterworld. He was the villain of Speed, and I loved all those movies and watched them all the time. So Dennis Hopper was like the villain of my childhood. And I think he's good. He's ridiculous and over the top, but he's pretty decent in this movie. And you do get the Koopa dinosaur revealed towards the end. So you get that cherry on top of everything. And I don't know, it's kind of a cool idea and a cool premise. The whole, how they evolved from reptiles in this alternate dimension instead of monkeys. And the whole de-evolution thing and the look of the Goombas. I actually think the Goombas look pretty good, especially in 4K, which we'll talk about that here in a second. It's different, but it's like, how else would you do it? What do you want, little small Goombas walking around? That would have looked, they would have done some stupid CGI or maybe some practical stuff that just looked dumb. So I don't know how else you do that in live action. I think the Goombas are pretty cool and they actually feel pretty threatening throughout the movie. So that's probably the best way to do it. I remember the big thing I was disappointed with this movie when I first watched it was the look of Yoshi, because it just looked like a small dinosaur, and I'm like, there's no characterization there. It just doesn't feel like Yoshi, because Yoshi in the games feels like more of a character than Mario and Luigi, to be honest. He just feels like he has more of a personality in the movies. But I don't know. I don't think it's terrible. I think it's pretty good. It's not like one of the greatest films of all time or one of the greatest video game adaptations, but it was a moment in time. It's very much, it's a movie that I remember watching and I'm like, did I dream that movie? Did that really happen? And then I rewatched it the other night and I was like, yeah, it pretty much happened the way I remembered it. But it's still pretty fun. It moves. It's got a good pace to it. And I think that it's not really dull. There's always something interesting going on screen. It's just that people weren't ready for this movie. They were not ready for this to be the live action version of the video games when it came out in 1993. I mean, you got to think, when this movie came out, the games were only 8 years old. The games have had 30 plus years of legacy. Well, almost 40 years of legacy now at this point. This movie itself is 30 years old. So the new movie just had all kinds of legacy and stuff to mine from to pull that off. And it's animated. I think they learned their lesson with this movie. I don't think they still would be able to do a Mario live action and it actually makes sense, and be a cohesive story and actually feel like it's in the same world of the game. So I feel like they figured out that we got to go animated to just make it feel more like the games, and then people will love it. Then you can't go live action with Mario, but they tried it and it was an admirable effort. So I do enjoy this movie now. But getting into the 4K, guys, look, I'm going to do the unboxing here at the table in a second, so I'm not going to take anything out, but the 4K actual picture quality, this was a new restoration, and I've heard that Umbrella doesn't really do their own restorations before, but I don't know if that's true in the case of this, because this doesn't have a 4K, and there's some information about the restoration work, and it pretty much implies that Umbrella did the restoration work here. It's a native 4K restoration. Now, it doesn't have HDR, and it doesn't have Dolby Vision, so that's one kind of negative. I think that HDR would have worked in this film's favor, but it's a really clean 4K, and this movie looks great. It looks absolutely fantastic. You can see everything, all the costume and makeup effects. Say what you want about the movie itself, but it's all really good. The effects and the makeup and the costumes, all that stuff looks great. And you can really tell that in 4K. So this world, this cyberpunk world that looks kind of like Blade Runner, very reminiscent of Blade Runner, looks fantastic. When you got John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins actually suit up and put their green and red suits on, that stuff looks great in 4K. There's no HDR, but it does feel like the colors are enhanced a bit. So I thought this was a very clean, sharp 4K transfer. It's on a 100 GB disc, so there's no real compression issues or anything. It's constantly running it in between like an 80 and 90 megabits per second. So I thought that this was just a really sharp 4K. I thought it looked great. The visuals were fantastic, and I really can't complain about this 4K. I feel like, Umbrella gets some heat sometimes for their transfers, and I know they don't do a lot of their Blu-ray transfers. They license those, but they're not the best transfers. But this may be the best, it's definitely the best 4K I've seen, because the Weird Al 4K wasn't great. But they got the Raid coming. So this may be the best, as far as picture quality presentation that I've ever seen Umbrella do. So it's definitely worth it for that. So absolutely outstanding picture quality. Tons and tons and tons. You'll see it when we go into the unboxing, but tons of spectacular special features here. You got multiple audio commentaries. I think 4 audio commentaries. You got multiple special features and featurettes and music videos and just all kinds of great stuff. So this is the ultimate collector's edition for Super Mario Brothers 1993. I love that we live in an age where we can get stuff like this. I just think that that's super cool. Yes, there are better movies that we would probably want that for, but the fact that we can get it for a movie like Super Mario Brothers 1993, I think is really cool. I would love if they did a Mortal Kombat edition like this, or a Street Fighter edition. Just these movies, they're not great, but they hit those nostalgic beats from my childhood, and I definitely have a special place in my heart because of that. So fantastic 4K as far as the presentation. In the movie, I don't know if it holds up. It may not hold up for everybody, but for me, I really enjoyed it. So look, guys, that's my review and thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers 4K. Let's go ahead and get into all of this stuff that I've got right here. The Super Mario Brothers Trust the Fungus Edition, the Hammer Horror Collection. We got Noble House, and we got Audition. Let's go with the unboxing table, unbox all this stuff. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's do it. All right, so we are going to start with the Super Mario Brothers Trust the Fungus 4K Edition. And guys, look at this thing. Look at this thing. Umbrella has really outdid themselves with this release right here. Look at this artwork. We are those plumbers. You got the Goombas on the back. Then you got the logo on the side. This is just one of the, look at this. Look at this chunky box. This is just one of the best packaged releases that I've seen, probably since the Drive 4K set from Second Sight. Have we seen a juicy box set like this? But this thing's got multiple booklets in it. And I'll show you the inside right there. And guys, we're doing the January releases right here, but I'm definitely going to be doing standalone videos for Umbrella stuff probably all year, just by the month, because they're having an incredible year. I would say they're maybe possibly doing some of the most exciting stuff of all the boutique labels right now. But this is the J card that was on the back. Let me go ahead and zoom in here. And guys, if you want to see, us kind of react, a bunch of content creators react to what's in the package here for about an hour and a half, you can go check out that stream I was on the other night. It's on the Born to Be Rad channel. It's on Planet CHH. I'll link it down below, but it was a really cool stream. But I'm kind of trying to let this focus a little bit just to let you guys see what all is included here. And then I'll focus these special features as well, because I'll probably am not going to be reading off everything. But as you can see, you got 3 discs here. You got a 4K UHD, feature film with a brand new 4K master, new audio commentaries. You got all the audio commentaries here on here. You got newly restored. That's a really cool feature, guys. Newly restored 4K deleted scenes. You got deleted scenes in 4K. Newly restored 4K Ain't No Game trailer. Newly restored 4K. I've got the power trailer. So you got trailers in 4K. You got deleted scenes in 4K, audio commentaries at the butt. And then you got disc 2 Blu-ray features. You got a Blu-ray with a 4K scan with all the audio commentaries. Newly restored. I think that has all the same special features as the 4K. But down here on the disc 3, you got all the Blu-ray. You got on a Blu-ray disc all of the extras. So you got the newly restored work print in HD. So yeah, you just got tons of stuff here. You got new Spike and Iggy revolutionary rap music video restored with new music composed by Richard Eidson. Just great stuff. This Ain't No Video Game featurette, which is 55 minutes, making of featurette. I don't know if that stuff's new or not. I didn't get into everything here, but This thing is just jam-packed. It's fully loaded. Since this was a limited set, you got 2250 total here, but this is 2124 out of that set, out of that run. And yeah, Trust the Fungus Collector's Edition. Like I said, there's another Collector's Edition coming. It's the 1-Up edition. All right, so let's just spread all this stuff out. So right here you have, this is the various, this does look like a bunch of chicken nuggets, I know. This is all the various like scripts that they had for this movie, like before they actually made it, like all the different scripts that were turned in is in this book. So if you're just curious about what the movie could have been, all the different ideas, I'm sure that not all of them are in this book, but like, that's a pretty cool little addition to put in here. So yeah, that's pretty damn awesome. The scripts of Super Mario Brothers, pretty damn cool. Put that to the side. You do have a bunch of art cards here, which we'll go through. Thwomp. Look at that, guys. Imagine that in 4K. There's some great visuals, great makeup effects. And yeah, you got Mario and Luigi with guns. I mean, they shoot flower fire in the games. Why not have guns, right? Some other fight sequences. There's Dennis Hopper right there. Just some great effects work in that movie. You got a bunch of stickers right here. Collector Series caps by Slamco. So they're calling them caps, but they don't look like caps. You remember those? Are they trying to say these are those? What are those little like slammer caps they had back in the day? But pretty cool. They got these stickers right there. You got an Umbrella sticker. Yoshi Collector Series. Yeah, they're not scratch and sniff, but it's still pretty cool. You got this the official movie magazine right here. I don't know if this is a real thing back in the day, but down there you got official Nintendo licensed product, Dynamite Photo Comic. So I don't know if this is a real magazine or not, but it's pretty damn cool that they did this kind of made up to reflect the magazines back in the day, like the Nintendo Powers and stuff. The good, the bad, the creepy. There's just so much in here, guys. So much. You got images. Just kind of do it up like those old magazines. Wrap it up. Bust some moves to the song Iggy and Spike sing after they've been through the Devo machine. So yeah, very cool. Some Flintstones and Jets in action right there. And then this is the actual case. I'll save the case for last. And they actually include like a piece of film right there, which I think mine is, I think that's Bowser at the end. King Koopa when he transforms. So that's pretty cool. And then you got this big book right here. This Ain't No Game, a collection of behind the scenes experiences and art, which is just incredible. This is a hardback book. And there is so much like great information about this movie and just some like drawings of some ideas, some concept drawings of what these creatures could have looked like in the movie. Like they actually, I think, planned had the toadstools in here. This is one of the concepts they had to have Toadstool in live action. Look at that thing. Look at that guy back there. So it's just really, God, it cracks me up. It's just really interesting to look at all this stuff, and to see what could have been for some things. But yeah, I just think this is a fantastic addition, guys. It's just the ultimate. It's the ultimate. Just tons of information, interviews. There's some really cool stuff in here. I think there's a section where they like show off the toys, which some of them got made, some of them didn't. And then you got a bunch of like posters. I'm trying to find the section with the toys. Oh my goodness. Merchandise, there we go. From 8-bit to 5-inch, the merchandising of Super Mario Brothers. So yeah, these, I don't know if these toys were actually available or not. If anybody out there watching had these, like I would have loved to have had the de-evolution machine. You got some of the police cars. I don't think the toys happened because the movie just wasn't very well received and it wasn't successful. So I think they kind of pulled the plug on all the toys and stuff. But Just some great stuff in this edition, guys. It's fantastic. It's just absolutely fantastic. And then this is the slip cover with the actual 4K inside. So you can just get this, I'm pretty sure. Just this 4K slip. I think this is still available on Umbrella. And also, like, if you just want the case, just the 4K itself, I think it's like 25 bucks or something. Which is going to have everything you want to watch. It's just not going to have all that extra material. So we'll kind of look at the back right there. Bam, bam, bam. Open this up. We got, oh my goodness, you got a poster in here as well. You got more stuff, guys. You got 2 posters. I think they're both reversible. Look at that. That's like an alternate poster right there. I don't know what country that's from. Maybe Japan. Oh, no, I think this is Japan. Look at that. That's crazy. The artwork is crazy. Yeah, this came out. This is a big movie for summer of '93. I remember the promotional material, guys. Like, this movie was supposed to be the biggest thing since sliced bread, and it was not. So, it was not. Can 2 plumbers save the world from going down the drain? People were hyped, though. People were hyped for this movie. I remember my friends and I were very hyped. And then you got the 4K right here. You got the Blu-ray of the movie, and then you got the disc with all the special features. So let me put the posters back in here. This thing is just, it's stacked, guys. I love showing you all this kind of stuff because this just highlights how physical media is not dead. It's not dead. The fact that we can still, and it does have reversible cover art, but it has the rating for Australia. That's usually what Umbrella does. But, like, if we can still be getting stuff like this in 2024, like, physical media is far from dead. It is far from dead. So just keep that in mind. And all right, moving on to this Hammer Horror Triple Shock set. So one of these I do have in my collection already. I think it's Night Creatures. I got that Scream Factory edition. But the other ones, I don't believe that I do. But this is a cool box set right here from Umbrella. Kind of flip it around, and you got these 3 Hammer horror films. Now, this is the Triple Shock Volume 2, so there is a Volume 1 available. I don't think I have the Volume 1, but there is a Volume 1 available. I'm trying to see. I think this comes out the bottom. Okay, so this is kind of like a Vinegar Syndrome set right here, where it kind of just, you take the top off, and it's kind of like a slipcover. Nice. It's pretty thick, like it's not super thin or anything. It's definitely thinner than like Vinegar Syndrome, but it's not the thinnest box set material that I've seen. And then you got some information right there. I can't ever get this to focus. It's so irritating. With all the special features and that kind of stuff on there if you want to look at that. But yeah, right here we got, kind of spin this around a little bit, Triple Shock. Really cool set if you like these Hammer horror. I like the art. I like how they kind of incorporate the poster artwork down there. I think that's pretty cool. And then we'll take this out of the case. You got a nice little booklet in here. And yeah, some information about the movies. I don't know what Phantom of the Opera this is. How old this one is. It's probably from like the 50s. Or no, it's from the 1962. Because it's the Hammer version. I think that Scream Factory did this one as well. They might have done all of these, to be honest. So yeah, you got a new audio commentary. And you got Kim Newman discussing the director of the film. So you got some good stuff on here as well. Seems pretty stacked. I like the artwork on it. You got some cool disc art on the inside and some interior imagery as well. So, and this right here, I didn't go into it, but one thing to know with Umbrella, guys, is that, ooh, I like the artwork on this, is that even though it says, it'll usually say, I'm not seeing where it says it right here, but it'll usually say Region B. Maybe it's on the back of this J card. No, they're not putting the regions on here. Usually it will say it's Region B, but like these will play. Every Umbrella that I've ever played, like maybe this is the one that won't, but every Umbrella that I've ever played Blu-ray wise has played on my regular Blu-ray player. I haven't had to put it in my region-free Blu-ray player. Now with 4K, with the Super Mario Brothers we just did, you don't have to worry about that, and I'm pretty sure the Blu-ray will probably play on your regular Blu-ray player, but like with the regular Blu-rays, like they usually play, and I don't have to worry about them being region-free, but That's definitely one thing to note. But Their Oath Was Terror, Their Cry, Blood, Night Creatures. This was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed this one from what I remember. I think I did a review for this on the channel. So you can go back and check out some of my Blu-ray reviews and probably find this one. But you open this up and you got an image from the film. On the inside, you got this disc as well. I like how the disc is green and kind of matches the aesthetic of the Blu-ray artwork. And then you got Shadow of the Cat. Bam, bam. Open it up, you got the disc art. So this one's a black and white. And there you go. So I'm pretty sure all these have probably come out from Scream Factory or somebody from back in the day. It's probably the same Blu-ray transfers, to be honest. That's usually what Umbrella does. But weird they don't have the what region it is, because usually they will include that on the back. But that's the Hammer Horror Triple Shock Volume 2 edition. Next up, we got Noble House. And I'm not really familiar with this movie other than it has Pierce Brosnan. I imagine maybe it's kind of like a James Bond type spy thriller. Or maybe it's not that at all. Based on James Clavell's bestseller, Noble House is the thrilling follow-up to the much-revered Shogun. Okay. So, you know, I'm sure it's of that, you know, spy, espionage, thriller, action ilk for sure. Special features, you got James Clavell video essay, 2 parts. So you got a visual essay here, but that looks like about it for the special features. So there you go. Got a nice little wraparound J card right here. This one's, you know, not super elaborate, fancy packaging, but you don't need that on every single release. I think Umbrella's got a few months coming up where every single release is like a big box set release. So this is just a regular slipcover. Nice artwork, though. I think the artwork is super awesome. And I'm looking forward to watching this and seeing what it's all about. And then you got, I imagine that's the original poster artwork. This is a 2-disc set. Doesn't have too many special features, so I wonder what the 2 discs are for exactly. You do have reversible cover art here. There you have the movie. James Clavell's Noble House. And then right here you got the Blu-ray as well. So, yeah, I'm not too sure why. Is there 2 cuts of the film, maybe? I'm not exactly sure why this would have two films, unless it's just a really long movie. Like it says running time 376 minutes. Is it maybe, like, is this a limited series or something? Maybe like a mini series? I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comment section below, like, why this one would need 2 discs. Because, I mean, if that runtime is accurate, that's over 6 hours that this film is. So, very cool. Noble House. Well, I don't think I did the reversible cover art. Sorry, guys. Because I was too confused. And, yeah, I think the reversible cover art is just the same artwork without the Australian rating. Which is cool, because some people just don't like that. And I've heard people say they don't even want to get these because of that rating sticker. So you can flip it, and you don't have to look at it. So that's cool that Umbrella offers that. See, Umbrella caters to the collectors of every region and country. And last up, guys, we have Audition. This beautiful box set edition right here. And look at this thing. Great artwork on the front. I have actually never seen this movie. I wanted to watch it before I did this video, but I just didn't get around to it. But I'll definitely check it out at some point and give my thoughts on it for sure. But this is a really cool edition. And I know this is a super popular South Korean film for sure. I believe it's South Korean. I hope I'm not speaking falsely there. All right, let's take all this stuff out. Nice little hard box edition that Umbrella's kind of known for. It's really comparable to the Arrow Video editions, guys, if you're not familiar with the Umbrella packaging. Nice, beautiful artwork right there. Very cool. So I need to watch this movie. Like, this is revered. Like, it's just one of the best horror films of all time. So take it out of the slipcover. Bam. Got stuff on the back. Looks like you have an exclusive audio commentary with the filmmakers. Not the filmmakers, but with filmmakers. Deeper into Audition. Video essay by Alexander Heller Nicholas. Audio commentary by Japanese film experts. Audio commentary by director Takashi Miike. and screenwriter Daisuke Tengen, which I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. Interviews with lead actors, Japanese trailer, international trailer. So very good stuff, guys. I have got to check this movie out. It's one that's been staring me in the face for the longest time, and I got to pull the trigger on it eventually. But I imagine that's the original poster right there. Very cool stuff, guys. Very cool. And I'm sure the reversible cover art's the same, but just doesn't have the rating on it. So we'll put this back in the slipcover. Great set, though. Great set. And we got a nice booklet as well. Don't know if there's going to be images in here that are too hot for YouTube, but we'll kind of flip through it slowly. I like all those images. My goodness. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. And then we got some cards as well, some art cards. I know people cringe when I rip this, but it's like, I don't like to have this. Once I get them out, and they're done. Some images from the film. Bam. This is probably a freaking gnarly movie, though. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right, guys, that's Audition. I tried to get through this as quick as possible because I know I took way too long on that Super Mario edition, but this is a great month from Umbrella. And most of these are still available, guys, except for the Trust the Fungus edition. But don't go pay a bunch of money for that edition because, like I said, there's another one coming very soon. I think it's actually coming out in June, that 1-Up edition. So it's going to have all the same stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. But thank y'all so much for watching my Umbrella January unboxing. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Comment down below your thoughts on all these releases. What do you think about them? Let me know in the comment section below. Turn on bell notifications for all future videos and follow me on all of my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.